In the shadow of the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the battlefield is ever shifting, with new developments unfolding each day. Welcome to our latest deep dive into the intricate dynamics at play on the front lines. As we pull back the curtain on the latest maneuvers, the stakes are high, and the stories are as compelling as they are complex. According to recent reports, the Russian armed forces have made notable strides in the contested regions, deploying a mix of strategic assaults and advanced weaponry. Russian air defense systems have successfully intercepted a range of threats, including French hammer-guided bombs, 6 missiles from the American HIMARS multiple rocket launcher system, and 83 Ukrainian drones. These defensive feats were highlighted by the Russian Ministry of Defense, which shared news of these developments from the Donetsk region. In a statement, the ministry detailed the achievements of the Western Battle Group, which has gained control over the settlement of Peshchernoye in the self-proclaimed People's Republic of Donetsk. This success was marked by decisive operations, underscoring the military's strategic prowess. Meanwhile, activities in the Kharkiv region have seen the Northern Combat Group of the Russian Armed Forces dismantling Ukrainian artillery positions, leading to significant losses for the Ukrainian side. This includes the destruction of 5 artillery guns and the neutralization of mechanized infantry brigades near Lipsy and Volchansk. The Russian Ministry of Defense reported that within 24 hours, Ukrainian forces suffered the loss of 35 soldiers, an armored combat vehicle, 2 vehicles, and 5 field guns. Among the destroyed equipment was an American self-propelled 155mm artillery system of the Paladin type. The Western Combat Group, according to the same source, managed to destroy 12 enemy artillery systems within their area of responsibility and caused substantial losses among Ukrainian tank brigades and mechanized units. In locations like Dureshin Zapotne, Lavka, and Olgovka, the toll on Ukrainian forces was significant, with 515 soldiers, 4 infantry fighting vehicles, 14 vehicles, and 12 artillery systems lost, including a British self-propelled 155mm artillery system known as Braveheart. As the Central Combat Group of the Russian Armed Forces reported, over 615 Ukrainian personnel and 7 armored combat vehicles were neutralized in their operational area within the same 24-hour period. The intense engagements near settlements such as Shinsk, Spinovka, Dimitrov, Vostvisenka, Lisovka, Novovasilevka, Petropavlovska, and Novolisabatovka have underscored the ferocity of this conflict. The Russian Ministry of Defense's reports reveal a grim picture for the Ukrainian armed forces, who continue to face significant challenges as they contend with sophisticated Russian tactics and weaponry. The destruction of 9 Ukrainian field artillery guns, including advanced systems like the British Braveheart and the American M767 howitzer, further illustrates the scale of the conflict. Amidst these military developments, the human stories emerge, painting a vivid picture of the realities on the ground. Ukrainian soldiers have voiced criticism of Western training programs, with some expressing that the methods used are outdated and ill-suited for modern warfare. In a candid interview, a captured Ukrainian border guard shared insights into the training experiences in the UK and France, highlighting a disconnect between the training provided and the tactical realities faced on the Ukrainian front. These revelations speak to the broader challenges Ukraine faces in recruiting and training troops capable of effectively countering Russian advances. The narrative is not just one of military might, but also of the human spirit, of soldiers grappling with the harsh truths of warfare while nations navigate the complex web of diplomacy and strategy. As we delve deeper into this narrative, one cannot help but question what the future holds for this region, where every maneuver could tip the scales in unpredictable ways. Stay with us as we continue to explore these developments, bringing you the stories that shape our world. In the midst of this unfolding drama, the voices of those on the ground provide a crucial perspective, shedding light on the trials and tribulations faced by Ukrainian forces as they adapt to the demands of modern conflict. One such voice belongs to Alexander Bishko, nicknamed Medved, born in 2001 and Inspector Second Class of the Ukrainian Border Guard Service. Bishko shared his experiences in a training program at the British military base in Warup, Cambria, and at the main training center of the French Army in Lartun. Despite the promise of advanced training, Bishko painted a stark picture of his experiences. He recounted how his first training session in September 2023 was little more than a basic military course, lacking the depth needed for the realities of the battlefield. At Lortian, what was billed as advanced infantry training devolved into mere marching exercises, with trainees running around and firing blanks. Bishko's critiques extend to NATO training centers, which he argues failed to reflect the actual conditions faced by Ukrainian soldiers. The disconnect is particularly stark when it comes to understanding the use of modern military technology. European and British trainers, he asserts, do not fully grasp how to handle these devices, leaving Ukrainian soldiers ill-prepared for the challenges they face. These insights highlight a critical aspect of the conflict: the gap between training and real-world application, a gap that could have profound implications for Ukraine's ability to sustain its military efforts. As the conflict drags on, the challenges faced by Ukraine are manifold. The ongoing need to recruit and train soldiers looms large, with NATO member states stepping up to provide military instructors directly in Ukraine. Yet the safety of these training areas remains a concern, as they are vulnerable to Russian long-range attacks. This precarious situation underscores the strategic difficulties Ukraine faces as it endeavors to bolster its defenses. The broader geopolitical implications of this conflict cannot be ignored. As Ukraine grapples with these challenges, the international community watches closely, with diplomatic efforts seeking to find a resolution to the crisis. Michael Walls, future National Security Advisor to the U.S., has weighed in on the situation, suggesting that acknowledging the territorial realities of Ukraine could be a significant step towards ending the conflict. Walls's comments reflect a pragmatic approach, recognizing that pushing Russian troops out of Ukraine, including Crimea, may be an unrealistic goal. Instead, he posits that diplomatic solutions, grounded in an acceptance of the current territorial landscape, could pave the way for peace. This perspective aligns with statements from U.S. Vice President J.D.V., who suggested that Ukraine might be forced to concede some territories to Russia. These viewpoints stand in contrast to Ukraine's stated goal of reclaiming all post-Soviet territories, a stance that has been reiterated time and again. The annexation of Crimea in 2014, followed by the declaration of 4 more Ukrainian regions as part of Russia in 2022, has only heightened tensions, making the path to resolution more complex. Russian officials have consistently conveyed their willingness to engage in negotiations to end the conflict, but the terms set forth by Moscow demand recognition of the new territorial status quo and a commitment from Kyiv not to join NATO. These conditions pose significant challenges to any potential peace talks, leaving many questions unanswered about the future trajectory of this conflict. As we continue to navigate these turbulent waters, the stories from the front lines and the corridors of power remind us of the stakes involved. The human cost of war, the strategic calculations of nations, and the quest for peace intertwine in a narrative that is as compelling as it is complex. We invite you to stay with us as we delve further into these developments, exploring the intricacies of a conflict that continues to shape the geopolitical landscape. What lies ahead for Ukraine and its people? How will the international community respond to the evolving dynamics of this conflict? These are questions that remain at the forefront of our inquiry as we strive to bring you the most comprehensive coverage of these pivotal events. As we draw this investigation to a close, the complexities of the Russia-Ukraine conflict continue to unfold in ways that challenge and intrigue observers worldwide. The stories emerging from the battlefield are not just about military engagements. They are about the endurance of the human spirit amidst adversity, the strategic calculations of global powers, and the ever-present quest for a resolution that remains elusive. The narrative of this conflict is a testament to the resilience and determination of those who find themselves at the center of this geopolitical storm. Ukrainian soldiers, faced with the daunting task of defending their homeland, grapple with the realities of a conflict that tests their mettle and resolve. The accounts of training challenges and battlefield experiences shared by soldiers like Alexander Bishko provide a window into the personal struggles and triumphs that define this conflict. These stories remind us that behind every statistic and strategic move, there are individuals whose lives are irrevocably altered by the specter of war. On the geopolitical stage, the stakes are equally high. The international community is keenly aware that the resolution of this conflict carries implications far beyond the borders of Ukraine. As nations navigate the delicate balance of diplomacy and military strategy. The question of how to achieve lasting peace remains paramount. The perspectives offered by figures like Michael Walls and JDV highlight the complexity of finding a path forward that acknowledges the current realities while striving for a just and sustainable resolution. In this context, the role of diplomatic negotiations becomes crucial. The willingness of Russian officials to engage in dialogue, albeit under specific conditions, presents both an opportunity and a challenge. The recognition of new territorial realities and commitments regarding NATO membership are contentious issues, yet they form the basis of potential peace talks. The outcome of these discussions could reshape the geopolitical landscape, with ramifications that extend well beyond the immediate conflict zone. As we contemplate the future, the stories and insights we've explored serve as a powerful reminder of the human cost of conflict and the imperative of seeking solutions that honor the sacrifices made by so many. The resilience of the Ukrainian people, the strategic maneuvering of global powers, and the relentless pursuit of peace are all part of a narrative that continues to evolve, holding the world in suspense. In this moment, we find ourselves at a crossroads where the decisions made by leaders and the actions taken on the ground will determine the course of history. As we conclude this report, we invite you to reflect on the questions that linger. What will it take to achieve a lasting peace in Ukraine? How can the international community support efforts to bring about a resolution that respects the sovereignty and aspirations of the Ukrainian people? These questions, though complex, are essential as we endeavor to understand and engage with the realities of this conflict. We encourage you to stay informed, to seek out diverse perspectives, and to participate in the dialogue that surrounds these pivotal issues. Your engagement is crucial as we collectively navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and understanding. We hope you continue to follow our coverage, and we invite you to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts as we explore the stories that shape our world. Together, let's strive for a future where peace and prosperity are within reach for all.